Hello and welcome once again to Dusting History. I've spent a little time recently going through the New South Wales State Library's gallery of photographs, and these ones that were taken in World War I were particularly interesting to me. This is all one folio of work from a Captain Hurley, and I've spent a little time here cleaning some of them up, despotting, restoring, doing all my normal things. And I was planning on making a little bit of a collection of them to put online. And while I was doing my normal flick through, just seeing what images were there that I could do something with, that I thought I might be able to improve, I came across this air-to-air photograph, which I haven't seen a lot of from World War I, showing these three biplanes and clouds of flak in the sky. So as usual, I started off in Photoshop, the most recent version of, and cropped the image out and began to prepare it to clean up. Adjusting the levels, basically just cropping and cleaning. And then I noticed this. You can see somebody's kind of scratched along the top part of the plane, but even more so, there's this ghostly outline all the way around, and it made me wonder if this plane was actually cut out and pasted into this image or not. Was this actually falsified? It's sharper than the other two planes, and I couldn't quite tell. But then, when I was actually scrolling further on, a day later, I came across this image. And I noticed that the planes in this image were identical, but not completely identical to the planes in the first image. So I downloaded this as well. So I cropped it and converted it to black and white. Then I did a small curves adjustment just to bring the black and white into line, and then pasted the original image, or the first image I was playing with, on top of this one, just to see if they lined up. Was this just a crop in on another image? And what I noticed was the sky was different, and the actual flak in the sky was different. You can see that the smoke plumes are changing shape, as well as those clouds up the top. So what was going on? I wasn't quite sure. I couldn't tell. Clearly there's some trick photography here, but which image was the original? Which sky was the original? You can still see there's lines across the middle of this image. It's got its own damage. It's one cohesive picture. So what I decided to do was clean this one up rather than clean the close-up up. Also because the plane in the close-up had all that scratchy stuff across the top of the wing, and I wasn't sure how I'd clean that up and do justice to it. So this became my primary image. But were these planes superimposed on this sky? And it made me start thinking about the kind of work I do, and how there are people online who kind of comment on falsifying history or changing images, or like seeing repairing damages somehow, modifying or tampering with the picture. And I hope you realize, watching my videos, I don't add any fake skies. I don't try and dolly the images up anymore. I really try to bring them back to what they were. Aside from when I start tampering with color, that's purely, art for art's sake. But when I stick to the black and white stuff, I'm really trying to be authentic. And then it made me wonder about this photographer and this exhibition and the images that were being presented as undoctored images. There's nothing in the information online to say that they're not authentic. So what does that mean for the nature of journalism, photojournalism, particularly in a time of war like this? Were these presented as verbatim 100% true images? And you'll see, once I've got the dots and the dirt and the scratches removed from this image, there's a few other things that I thought were quite interesting. In this picture, you can also see there are two sets of trenches with soldiers emerging from them. And when I got in closer and started to clean them up, I began noticing that the information in between seemed a different resolution than the photographs or the areas of interest with the trenches. And you can kind of see, if you look at the center of this image, and even on this hard right here, the ground gets appreciably softer and almost looks painterly. The no man's land in the center. And you get this feeling that that's an image, and then this is an image, and then the planes are an image, sort of superimposed inside a larger, softer image of maybe, the explosions or whatever. It's so hard to tell. You can kind of see in the middle here, you can see how soft the detail is and how kind of painterly those poles look. And if you look there on the right, there's an appreciable pickup in difference of detail to the center there. And here again on the left to the center, you sort of see how it looks like some other image. Yet the guy and his bayonet and all that, they all look like they're cut out or contoured correctly. So I can't quite work out if I'm just making things up or if this has actually been manipulated far more than I thought. I'd love your comments about what you think about this sort of photo manipulation and what it means for, particularly for war photography, and what you think of my assessment of this image, whether you think I'm actually right or wrong. Regardless, it's an amazing image, and it's an amazing part of history, and I'm really glad to be able to clean that up and sort of bring it back to life to some degree. Let me know what you think, and thanks very much for stopping by. See you next time.